Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, good morning. Hopefully, we won't have any connection issues this morning. We will see. But I am at the mobile home. And I'm unpacking it a little bit. Got a bit of an update for you guys towards the end of this video. And while I'm unpacking it, I wanted to go over some of the books that I've read since I've been sleeping in my vehicle. And this is only a tiny glimpse of the well over 1,000 books that I have read now. Be it either audiobooks or hard copy or otherwise. And so, as you can see, I've got that whole book, or that whole box of books. I got that whole box of books. I got that whole box of books. There's probably about 400 books at least in front of you. And so I've picked out some of my favorite ones here, and I was going to go through these. Just to kind of give you a glimpse about what it is that I study, sort of my interests in different things, yeah. And so by the end of this, you should have a pretty good idea of kind of who I am as a person a little bit, and what I study and why I study it. So with that being said, in no particular order, let's just start going through these, okay? We got The Hiding Place, The Triumphant Story of Corrie ten Boom. Okay, this is the extraordinary adventure of one courageous Christian woman who became a militant heroine in the anti-Nazi underground. Yeah, buddy. Because the last thing we would ever want is for history to repeat itself. So, good to educate ourselves, yeah? Hunting Evil. Some of you guys may remember these two faces through social media. This is the couple that hunted down and killed pedophiles. This is a true life account of a lot of things to do with that scenario there. Love Yourself, a book about self-acceptance and depression. Good one. God Isn't Done With Me Yet, the unforgettable story of America's homeless kids. Are we starting to paint a picture here a little bit? Buried Dreams, Inside the Mind of a Serial Killer. On December 21st, 1978, the hunt for a missing 15-year-old boy ended unexpectedly at the doorstep of John Wayne Gacy Jr. Inside the Mind of a Serial Killer. This is actually written, it says right here, based upon the investigative reporting of Russ Ewing. Russ Ewing was the investigator who investigated the case and actually interviewed John Wayne Gacy while he was in prison. Thank you for stopping by, Lynn. I appreciate your interaction with my post. I will definitely be in touch with you. Then we've got the Journals of Lewis and Clark. Yeah. Literally a book about the people who essentially discovered the United States. One of the greatest war novels of our generation, Fields of Fire. I believe this one was, yes, Vietnam. This is all about the Vietnam War. It actually has some like true life accounts of some real veterans. We've got Grace in the Wilderness, her story of liberation from 1945 to 1948. If you're familiar with your history, yeah, Nazi Germany. And then we have a second copy of The Hiding Place. Now we're going to start getting into some of the good ones. Well, they're all good. That's why I picked them out of the 400 books I've got here. But Crisis of Character. A White House Secret Service officer discloses his first-hand experience with Bill, Hillary, and their corrupt bullshit ways of fucking you and not telling you that they're fucking you. Yeah, that's a pretty good book. Then we've got Grandfather, a Native American's lifelong search for truth and harmony with nature. That's a damn good one. Talks about the perspective of nature and how it's very important to have a relationship with nature. Sort of disconnecting from people and society to find that peace within. I really like that one. This is The 13th Valley. This is actually book... Where's the other book in this series? I don't think I pulled it out. But The 13th Valley is another true story account of the war in Vietnam. Then we've got, I'm going to save this one for last because she is awesome. Don't Get Mad, Get Even. Yeah, we'll let the title explain itself on that one. The World That Made New Orleans, From Spanish Silver to Congo Square. New Orleans has an entire history that a lot of people don't know about with the Spanish-American War and different things. Then we've got Ann Coulter's Treason. Liberal Treachery, From the Cold War to the War on Terrorism. Talks a lot about the Afghan War and how we never should have been there. War is bad. Okay. Then we got, this is volume 2 of Churchill, The New World, Winston Churchill. Here we go. It's a part of a 4-book series. The Birth of Britain. Then you got this one here, which is The New World, which is one of my favorite ones because it's actually about the time that they established their independence. And then you got The Age of Revolution and The Great Democracies. Volume 3 and Volume 4. I found this in one of the free book things around town, so I have the hard copy for Volume 2. I still need to eventually get the hard copies for Volume 1, 3, and 4, but I have read all 4 books in the series. It's a very good series for anybody who's into revolutionary type stuff. Then we've got In Search of America, one of the greatest books of all freaking time. Boundaries. When to say yes, when to say no, and how to take control of your life. Good one. You guys might remember this face. He's all over social media. That's Kevin Trudeau. Debt Cures. The things they don't want you to know about. Why the financial industry wants to keep you in debt. How to turn bad credit into good credit. and create wealth through financial health. That's a good one. Here's a funny one. Pigs just might fly. People used to say I'd never get sober. Pigs might fly. Yang the Youngest in His Terrible Ear. I read this one on social media already. If you want to hear this book, just scroll on down and you'll find it. It says it right on the screen. It says Yang the Youngest is Terrible Ear. I wrote it on the front when I was reading, so you'll see it say Yang the Youngest in His Terrible Ear on the video when you end up scrolling by it. But if you want to read that one, it's already on here. That's the only book that I've read so far on social media. But the U.S. Armed Forces Survival Manual. Yeah, buddy, I'm exactly who you want to be friends with in an apocalypse. Oh, couple that, by the way. With this one. Yes, it's a flight training manual. And I happen to have a few of them. This one happens to be for Cessnas. But yeah, this is everything you need to know to get your pilot's license. So yeah, apocalypse comes. We're going to survive and thrive. But anyway, I'm just being goofy. On to the next one. If You Really Loved Me. This is another one of those books that is about a true crime case. Things really happen. See, 8 pages of stunning photos. It's pretty crazy. Between the John Wayne Gacy book and this book and the other books that I have about criminals, I think there's one here I haven't gone through yet. Maybe I did. But it's pretty crazy when you start to get into the dark psychology stuff. Then we've got The Marketing of Evil, How Radical Elitists and Pseudo-Experts Sell Us Corruption and Disguise It as Freedom. Very, very good book. For anybody who believes all that propaganda that the world's not against you, that's a good one. Some of these rich elitists are total sociopaths. I'll tell you that much. The Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. I have read his chapter on Zen from this book on social media, but I have not finished this book on social media. Maybe I will. Now we're getting into the good stuff. The Little Book of Common Sense Investing. Now, at face value, this book may look like it is just a book about investing. But when you read a little deeper, you will realize that this book is written by John C. Bogle. Now, if you don't know who John C. Bogle is, he is the founder and former CEO of the Vanguard Mutual Fund Group. For those of you who don't know, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street own just about every single business you ever shop at. Whether you go to Target, Home Depot, Menards, McDonald's, Arby's, Wendy's, KFC, Taco Bell, Chipotle, Jersey Mike's, or anywhere in the entire place, anywhere you shop just about is owned by either Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, or a combination of all three. You have the illusion of choice. At the end of the day, at least $1 out of every single fucking sale that you ever buy anywhere, ever, any corporate place that's not a mom and pop shop, that's not a small town store. If you're shopping at major retail stores, they are making fucking money off of you. They damn near control the entire fucking world. They own like 90% of the real estate. under different conglomerates, Cinemax, Century 21, or not Cinemax, what is it? Remax, Century 21, Tovar, all the major real estate places. For those of you who don't know, McDonald's is actually a real estate company. But anyway, yeah. So I didn't just get this book to learn a little bit about investing. I also got this book because these two go hand in hand. Makes sense? Then we got Fallen Angels, another book about the Vietnam War. For those of you who know, my grandfather was a Vietnam War veteran. After that, he retired and went into the CIA and worked under John Glenn and Ronald Reagan as a ham radio operator. He was an experimental electrical engineer, designing tons of electrical technology. My grandfather knew about AI before AI even knew about AI. So he was a very intelligent man, and I've done my part to try to learn as much as I can about him and his life and his experiences through books. Yeah, my grandfather's military records are not here. They are somewhere safe, deposit box, under lock and key and several other things, because they contain a lot of information that the world just doesn't know. But it was actually declassified a lot with the Kennedy documents and different things, so I was able to get a lot of that information. And yeah, let's just say Ronald Reagan getting shot had a lot to do with Epstein's Island and the fact that he was going to expose something that was going to change the world as we know it, or the perception of our government as we know. I forgot his words from his exact speech, but yeah. My grandfather was a ham radio operator, picked up some transmissions, overheard some things. Then Ronald Reagan started talking about how he was going to expose it, and then Ronald Reagan ended up shot. Same thing with JFK and several other people. But anyway, that's enough about that because I don't want to die. But home-based businesses, you can start for under $5,000. It's an entire list. I'll just pause here for a second. And it actually goes through a step-by-step breakdown of how you can get started in each one of these areas. So that's pretty cool, except I'm homeless. Right? Working with nothing but an Android cell phone. That's all right. We'll get there one day. Now we're getting into the good stuff. I saved two of these for last because of reasons I will get to in just a moment. The one who realizes his destiny is a person, or to realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation. The Alchemist. Alchemy is not like mixing chemicals together and yada yada yada. This book goes into the mental side of it. It's about manifestation, and your thoughts become actions, actions become reality, on and on. The Alchemist, that's a really good book. Then we got Pills That Work and Pills That Don't. Now we are getting into my addiction expertise just a little bit. Very good book. It goes over the medical industry, and it's very straightforward. It's pills that work and pills that don't, and why they don't work, and why the medical industry wants to keep you sick, and why certain pills work and why certain pills don't, because if you die, then you won't be a customer, right? So they want to manage your symptoms without curing it. But yeah, pills that work and pills that don't. So that's a very, very, very good one. And then we've got this 3-book series here, which is arguably one of my all-time favorites. The Home Remedies Health Handbook. It's a very thick book. Home Remedies goes over different herbs and all kinds of different things, the tinctures and stuff that you can cook up. These are the original antibiotics, you know. There you go. Arthritis, asthma, allergies, flatulence, fingernail problems, fever, eye strain, ear infection, earache, dry skin, dry hair, diarrhea. Some of y'all got that flatulent problem I was talking about earlier. Got them methane farts. If you need this book, let me know. Oh, no, I'm playing. Dermatitis, eczema, goes over all kinds of different things. Then you got the Family Health and Medical Guide. This talks about small cuts, major cuts. Basically, if you're ever in an apocalypse, these 3 books are freaking amazing. Goes over, there you go, the endocrine system, the kidneys and urinary tract, the digestive system, the heart and circulatory system, the lungs and respiration system, ear, nose, and throat. And you got the eyes and your vision, bones and muscles. Goes over just about any problem that you could have with your physical health or injury. And then I got another book here about prescription drugs. It goes over the brand name, the generic name, what it's for, all the uses, side effects, things to look for. Pretty much every drug as of, what was it, like 2020, I think this was. It looks old, but it's not. Ugh. So and then we got these 2 books, which I effectively saved for last because my boss is actually one of my followers on social media, and he asked me to read these 4 books on social media. There are 4 books in here. Each one is about that long. About that long. It's literally split like right into 4. I'm trying to find the division pages. It's right there. Yep, there you go. So, like I said, about that long. But haven't done that yet. So check it out, guys. I just went through about 50 or so books. I got a big ask of you guys, especially my main followers, my OGs, my ones who watch these to the end. I want to know which one of these books you want me to read on social media, and I'm going to do that. First comment wins. First person to comment one of these books that you want to see me read on my social media, I will do that. So if you got to go back and rewatch the video or go through the books, feel free. But pick a book. For anybody who watches this video this far, and the very first person to comment which book you want to see me read, I will read it. Then we got From Bags to Riches. Bag Lady Sue was at Whiskey's. Very good comedian, a local supporter, friend. I just can't express enough how much she loves Rockford and she loves whiskeys. And she's got a lot of friends right here in Rockford. She visits on occasion, even when she's not doing shows. And while she was here doing her show, which if you want to see it, it is on my YouTube channel. The link is in the description above. It's the @The Real Homeless Man link. If you want to see her comedy, it's on my YouTube channel. Feel free to check that out. Bag Lady Sue has been touring the world for years. Years. Or her whole life. She's always kind of had a gypsy soul. And she was a burlesque dancer. And she's heavily involved with Sturgis and different motorcycle groups and things like that. And she wrote a book, obviously, From Bags to Riches. And while she was in town, I happened to get myself a copy. So this is another one that I could read on here. It's kind of her life story, how she came up and turned her life into one of success and abundance, and was able to live with her free spirit and achieve her dreams and do the things, very much so, do the things that she wanted to do, regardless of what the world thought of it, you know. And it's a very interesting read. There's some titty pics in here. But yeah, it's just it. I always say, a lot of people see successful people, they never see where they came from or what it took to get there. And this book very much breaks that down and shows firsthand. It's a firsthand account of what it is to live your dreams regardless of opinions. And yeah, you can pause it right here if you want to read the back of this. All right, anyway, with that being said, I got other stuff I got to do today. So in the meantime, just remember, love yourself, love others, love the world around you, all right? Please, just one person, okay? If there's not a comment below this video yet, just one of my loyal followers, if you could pick a book that you want to see me read on social media, let me know, and I will do so. Peace.